All right, Jay Verda, Josh Best from the Webster Recreation Center with Dr. Mike, as always, from GVPT. Here again with our vlog, episode
999.
7. All of our fans out there probably can tell us, so please leave that in the comments.
Yes.
In fact, please leave something in the comments. That would be nice.
We want to hear what you guys,
Yeah.
we want to see what you guys want to hear us talk about. We
Okay,
get
so-
questions in here, but we'd like to see what the public that's watching this wants to know.
Yeah, so maybe right now, before I say anything further,
We'll just
I want
have
everybody
everybody
to
to
type something. All right, so you have 30 seconds, go. I don't have a watch, but I don't know if it's been quite 30 seconds.
I do, but there's
No,
no
that's
second
all right.
hands on it.
All right, anyway, yes. So please, feedback is good. Questions, concerns, whatever. Critique us. Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
Whoa.
All right. We don't want to go that far. But anyway, so we actually have a couple of questions today. I'll let Dr. Mike throw them out there for us.
So the first one we got was, how do I improve my son, who is 10 years old, how do I improve his pitching? That's kind of all we got. So I guess this is kind of multifaceted, because I guess my question would be, what are you trying to improve? Are you trying to improve his resilience to not being injured? Are you trying to improve his technique and form? Are you trying to improve his velocity, or how fast he can throw or hard he can throw? So I guess I'll start off with that. If you're looking to improve form and technique, there's a ton of resources in the Rochester community for pitching coaches. I know there's a ton of things nationwide where they go through specific principles and fundamentals of how you should be pitching to reduce strain and stress to your shoulder and throw harder and be more resilient. In terms of resilience itself, an arm care program I think is the best way. So there's some programs that are already set up. I can think of Throwers 10 is a program that was set up, and it's 10 exercises to complete to make your arm more resilient for injury. It has to do a lot with working the rotator cuff and mobility and making sure you maintain that. The biggest thing with resilience is that your body can handle multiple pitching and high pitch counts, and there's rest periods though too. We got to think of the little league rules where you should only be pitching so many pitches per game, per season, how many months out of the year. So those are really important to follow for resilience, and they're evidence based. So we're not trying to be jerks by saying you can only pitch so many pitches a game. It's so that you don't ruin your shoulder by the time you hit high school.
10 years old, you said?
Yeah, he's 10. So the best thing for resilience with a young person is they shouldn't be pitching a lot. Throwing in nature is just bad for the shoulder. I know it's kind of crappy to say that, but when they're that young, they really should just be doing a lot of throwing and catching and not working too much on high velocity pitching, because they're growing, so their growth plates and their shoulder aren't totally solid yet. So it can lead to a lot of fractures. I actually have a person right now who has a fracture that's really young because they were just pitching too much, too hard. So it's abiding by those guidelines, I think.
Throwing enough to create the adaptations in the shoulder to help as they progress and get older, they get bigger so that they can get into the positions to pitch properly.
Yep.
But not so much where, yes, you're going to have injuries to those shoulders where then, it's probably going to cut their career short. With
velocity, I think it's the biggest thing that we work on with a pitcher. So this exercise specialist here and myself, when I'm working with a pitcher, is their lower extremity and core strength. So a lot of people are like, well, if my shoulder's not super strong, I'm never going to be a fast pitcher. That's not true. It comes down to core and hip and being able to separate the shoulder motions from the core motions to kind of twist and wind that body up and use that momentum to create a stronger throw. I think if you look at a lot of the major league pitchers, some of them that are throwing 100 miles an hour, they're not jacked players or anything like that.
No. And if you notice their arms and shoulder movement, it's not, you can barely notice it in the best of them. And I think when you really focus on arm care and staying resilient and then also improving velocity, kind of like Mike said, it's focusing on core strength so that power that you produce from the ground up can be efficiently transferred to the ball.
Right.
So if you're just slinging the ball and trying to get that power through your shoulder, you're putting more stress on it, and it's going to lead to some kind of injury at some point. but you're also shortchanging yourself in terms of how fast ultimately you'll be able to throw. So I think taking a look at it from, core strength, endurance, mobility in the right places of the spine, obviously being able to have your lower extremities in the right positions from, the wind up right through the delivery. So how we look at it as not pitching coaches, quite frankly, is what can we do to kind of build from the ground up the being in the best possible positions, generating the most power, having it being transferred the most efficiently, and right through release of ball. So you're not putting that stress on the shoulders and also the elbows as well. So.
And we've developed pitching programs to improve resilience, arm care, and velocity, and just overall strength in our pitchers here at the Webster Rec Center. And really, the way that I explain it best to parents is what we're trying to do is improve the power that's generated in the legs, the transferring of that power through the core, and then the delivery from the shoulder. But the shoulder is really not producing the force, it's dissipating the force. That's the biggest thing. So, we kind of generate the power from the ground up, and that's what our programs work on, is that efficiency of generating enough power, and keeping in mind that pitchers have to know how to, be in good form and technique. And by no means are we, technique coaches or anything like that. We know how it should look. We can coach them through some of the basics, but we try and work with, coaches and stuff where we're saying, all right, what are you seeing? Does his form look good? Okay, this is what I'm seeing and why he's, losing velocity and how to improve that. So, So I guess it was a very open-ended question. So there's a lot of things you got to do. You got to be resilient. You got to have good force transfer. You got to be strong, right?
You have to get tall.
You have
get
to get
older. That all contributes to velocity.
I love to see when someone's been working with someone for a year and they're like, yeah, my speed's gone up a little. I'm like, well, you're also 3 inches taller. You weigh more now. Like that has a lot to do with it. Things that we can't change. Height, weight, all that also goes into how fast and hard you can throw it too. So.
So again, bottom line for this particular person and his son, just focusing on positioning, building strength, and
having good technique.
And
arm care. Take care of you abide by those guidelines that are out there for youth pitching. So
just don't throw hard all the time.
Yeah.
Give the arm a break.
All right, question 2. Did you have anything to add to that?
No, you guys
we took over the show there.
Sorry. No, that's fine. I have nothing to add to it. It's spot on.
All right. So the second question: are there ways to use insurance benefits to cover health and wellness? Which is a great question. I mean, I think in physical therapy, we would love insurance companies to start reimbursing more for health and wellness. Let's prevent injuries before they occur, rather than trying to fix them all the time. You guys get to do a lot more of that necessarily than I do, but I'll speak on the physical therapy aspect first. I mean, our company has programs out there for general health and wellness, balance, reducing fall risks in the elderly, losing weight through our Move and CHIP programs, which is like a dietary program that's a physician runs in the Rochester region, and we do the exercise portion of it. So that's all considered physical therapy and covered by whatever your physical therapy benefits are. So there's certain ways, just because you don't have a broken arm doesn't mean you can't come to physical therapy. There are health and wellness diagnoses that we can see and treat and help improve your overall health and wellness that's covered. But there's a ton of programs out there. I know some insurance companies, I think Excelis being a big one, is providing a dollar amount per year to help cover like gym costs and personal training. I think my company, it's the benefit is like $300 a year towards gym memberships and health and wellness. HSAs can be used for things like massage therapy, chiropractic, PT, all of that. Their health and wellness can be health and wellness related. There's a bunch of different things. You guys have anything to add? Silver and Fit. I mean, if you have Medicare or Silver Sneakers, if you have Medicare coverage, you can pay like $25 a year and you can get a gym membership. And we offer, I know you guys offer a lot of classes included with the gym membership, right?
Yeah, I think in general, it's just checking with whatever your healthcare provider is and see what their benefits are. Specific to the rec center, we take Silver and Fit and Silver Sneakers benefits, so that might be something you want to look at and see if you have it, because it can save you a fair amount of money, actually a lot of money, because I believe there's Silver Sneakers, there's no fee attached whatsoever. And Silver and Fit, I think it's $25 a
For
year.
a year, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so a lot of it is just, and actually we've taken a lot of different insurances, so a lot of it is just finding out what your provider, what the benefits are, and then what you need to take advantage of it, whether it's a reimbursement, getting a receipt. So I would just check and see what you have, but more and more places are taking, these insurance benefits, and so I would definitely check it out. It's a great way to save a lot of money on health and wellness.
Josh, what are some of the classes? I know there's a lot of classes here that they offer. Some of them are free.
Yeah, I mean,
Some of them are, covered by if you have a membership here, or Silver and Fit, or Silver Sneakers.
Yeah, so tacking on actually to Silver and Fit. We have a couple classes throughout the week called Silver and Fit, and obviously if you're a member, boom, jump into that class. Good stuff.
Just gotta sign up.
Yeah, sign up, show
It's
up,
included.
do it. It's great.
Make sure you scan your card.
You get a membership
man.
card. You have to scan it when you come.
Oh man. Yeah, scan it in. Usually, most facilities, ours in particular, we have classes geared towards that. It'll also be in the description. But for something that you guys are interested in, come check us out. If you have any questions, seek one of us out, and we'll be able to get you squared up and get you moving and grooving.
One more point for clarification, like Josh was saying, we have a couple different membership options. We have a premier membership, which includes a lot of the classes that Josh was just talking about. It also includes, our boot camp, metabolic type classes, our Move Well, corrective posture, the Silver and Fits, TheraBand, things like that. So the real benefit would be if you have a Silver's, you are automatically a premier member, so it would open up all those classes to you without an additional charge. And again, a lot of insurance companies will reimburse if you have to pay for a session of a class or for your gym membership. So definitely look into it.
Just give them a call. I mean, we
simple
have
as
to do
that,
that
yeah.
sometimes too. If someone has those questions, we just call the representatives and ask them.
Yeah.
I know GVPT has a free TheraBand class here
Yeah,
That's right.
Mondays.
Mondays.
Yeah, Monday mornings.
Yeah.
And there's chair yoga. I know you guys have some fitness classes for the
Yeah.
seniors that come here, so there's a senior program here.
Swedish
Yeah.
fitness.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe we can even post our current fitness schedule on
Yeah.
Facebook if we can figure out how to do that.
Sure. We're working on it. So, all right, so those were the only questions we had this week, but please comment any questions that you have or send us an email or whatnot,
Absolutely.
and we'll see you at the next episode, whatever,
Yeah.
7, 8, whatever
Yeah,
it is at that
7 or
point.
8.
So,
Yeah,
It'll be episode 1000.
yep, sure.
And if your name is Rick or Sue, we're looking for questions from you guys.
Ooh,
You know who
calling
you are.
people out. I like it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Till next time.
All right,
Good
thank
luck.
you.